Mother's Day is just around the corner, and I wanted to share a couple of Mother's Day card ideas today. Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel, and in today's video, I'll be sharing two different Mother's Day cards made with a bunch of different dies from Pretty Pink Posh. Some of these items are new, some of them are from about a year ago, but they all combine together to make really easy to create, but lots of interest Mother's Day cards. So let's jump right into the card making, and I'll let you know what the products are that I'm using along the way. First, we'll start with the pierced leafy vines cover plate, which cuts out this beautiful subtle design that's perfect for a lot of different backgrounds. Then I grabbed an Eyelet circles die that is about the second smallest down. Then the winter mugs dies. Now the winter mug dies cuts out the mug. It also cuts out the drink that can be inside the mug. I've cut out two of the mugs in the same colors of cardstock so that I could adhere them together to get just a little bit of dimension. And then I'll add a little bit of liquid adhesive behind the coffee that's going to go inside. Next, I'll take some tape runner and put it behind the eyelet circle. And that's going to be kind of like a doily or a little place to put the mug. This is the Flower Garden Stamps and Dies. It's a stamp set from last year that has a really pretty Happy Mother's Day sentiment on it. So I thought it would be nice to stamp that sentiment right on the mug. So I've placed the mug inside my mini Misti and I have my waffle flower grip mat behind it. I'll use a little bit of anti-static powder tool on the mug and then Versamark ink on the stamp. And you can see then I'm able to cover it up with white embossing powder, and then I'll be able to heat set that to make it really stand out on that nice blue mug. And like I said, I love the script in the mothers and then the straight font of the Happy and Day. I'll place 3 foam squares at the bottom of the mug, only at the bottom. I know that's a little strange, but I want to be able to place these stems inside the mug. So this is from the Spring Mug Editions dies. Pretty Pink Posh came out with the Winter mug dies a while ago, and now they have a whole bunch of editions dies. There's birthdays, there's love, there's all kinds of things. And so spring came out and they have all these little flowers and things to add to your mug to make a spring mug. So I have the flowers and I'm layering one on top of the other in 2 different colors, and then a third color for the flower center, and then another color for the stems and leaves. And I'll place a little bit of liquid adhesive at the top of the stem and then just adhere that flower down. Super simple. I love all the stitched elements on these die cuts. They really add such a nice touch. I'll add a couple of pieces of foam squares behind the top of the flower and a little bit of liquid adhesive on the stem that I tuck into the mug itself. This way the flower stays popped up, it won't smush down, but I'm really adhering it down inside the mug. I'll add a couple of extra leaves, and that one flower that didn't have a stem, I'll just kind of tuck that inside the mug as well. And these leaves come in a couple of different sizes. I thought I'd have 2 little leaves right on the front of the mug too. So it may be a coffee, it may be a little flower pot, but it's a Happy Mother's Day card with lots of die cut details. Here's the pierced leafy vines plate again, and I have a few different colors of cardstock that I'll be working with in this card. So when I have an A2 piece of cardstock that I want to cut out of an A2 die cover plate, I'll just tape it right inside the die cut lines on the outside. Since it's already cut down to A2, I don't need those cut lines, but I want everything inside there to be pierced. So there's that beautiful pierced pattern once again. And I decided to use the same sentiment from the Flower Garden stamp set. It's just such a pretty Happy Mother's Day sentiment. So I have a white piece of cardstock that I'll place inside my mini Misti, and then I have the stamp, and I'll add some black ink to that stamp and really ink it up so that I'll be able to stamp it in the center of that A2 piece of cardstock. And I'm doing that for a reason. I know I want to cut this out with one of the Eyelet circles dies. So I'll grab one that's just slightly larger than this sentiment, hold it in place with some tape, and then run it through my die cut machine. Now I have an Eyelet circle with the sentiment on it. That's going to be the center of this card. Next, I grab the stitched butterflies dies, and these come in several different sizes. I'm using the small and slightly larger of those, and then I grabbed those flowers again from the Spring Mug Editions dies, and I want to layer those all up. This time what I have is single layer flowers and different color centers. So I'm using those 4 pieces of cardstock that I showed you at the beginning, and then adding in a slightly darker pink, and then cutting them out of all those different colors, and then mixing and matching the centers to the flowers. So it really is nice to be able to stick to a universe of colors, to pick your colors ahead of time, and then really cut everything out of those colors and then mix and match the layers. So you can see these little tulips, they have 2 layers as well, and you can use 2 different colors of cardstock so that you can see a 3rd petal in the center has a different color. So again, you'll cut both colors out of the one die and then swap them between each other so that you can layer them on top of each other and have multicolor flowers. This comes together very easily when you have a picked set of colors and cardstocks, and especially having those A2 pieces of cardstock handy by your desk. Just grab a couple and start die cutting, and then do all your gluing at the same time. I like to assembly line as much as I can, do all my die cutting in the beginning, then do all my adhering together, and this way then I can create the card with a whole bunch of different flowers and butterflies. Next, I'll take a few foam squares behind the Eyelet circle to really pop that up in the center of the background. So I love the look of those eyelets and the pierced background. Now I have my flowers and my butterflies all ready to go. I will have a couple of flowers on the sentiment circle itself to accent that and to start adding some color. Next, I'll take the butterflies because those are the largest die cuts that I'm working with. I want to create basically a wreath around this circle. So the circle is my midpoint and I'm working all around that. So the 2 largest butterflies in 2 corners, the 2 smaller butterflies in 2 corners, and then filling in the gaps with all of these flowers. I did use small foam squares behind everything. I love the look of that dimension and popping off the background of that card, and you can still see all those little pierced details in the back where the background shows through. Here I have a slightly larger spot to play with and a few flowers left. So I really want to start making sure that I have at least 1 or 2 flowers in between everything, and I want to use up all these flowers. So I decided to add a few more to the circle itself, and then kind of move over a couple of the flowers to make room for a 3rd on the sides. So now there's 3 flowers on the sides and 1 at the top and bottom, and then several on the sentiment circle. This is so easy to do because all the die cutting, all the adhering has already been done. So basically you're just having fun placing these items in a circle. And the beauty of the Pretty Pink Posh dies is that they have so many details to each die cut that there's tons of interest in this card, even though I basically just created a circle of die cuts around a stamped sentiment. I thought it would be really nice for this one to add a little bit of shine. So I have some sequins from Pretty Pink Posh, and I started by just adding them to the flower centers. So I have a little bit of liquid adhesive, just a dot using the My Sweet Petunia Precision Glue Press in the center of those flowers, and then an embellishment tool to pick up the different sequins. Now, the great thing about their sequins is that the mix comes with several sizes. So if you have a slightly larger flower center, you can put a larger sequin in there. If you have a smaller one, there's really tiny ones as well. And then I wanted to add just a few on the outside near the butterflies too, because I just couldn't stop. Once I start with these, they really kind of take over and I have to just add them everywhere. I just love how beautiful they are, the shine, and how they really go with so many different cards because they're clear. So that is how easy it is to create 2 different Mother's Day cards. This one is so much fun to create a wreath and so easy as well. I love that with just a couple of die sets, a little bit of cardstock, and maybe some ink, you can create some Mother's Day cards that have so much interest because the Pretty Pink Posh dies die cut all kinds of stitching and different elements onto them. Pretty Pink Posh has an amazing new release coming very soon, so be sure to subscribe down below so that you're the first to see my release video when it comes out. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. Hold on. Wind it back. Try again. I don't like that as much. Doesn't flow off the tongue. The end. I don't remember what I was saying. That's what it was. See you again soon. Bye.